மேம் நீங்க பேசுறது கேட்கல மேம்.
I'm unmute பண்ணிருந்தேன். இப்பதான் unmute பண்ணிருக்கேன்.
ஓகே மேம். ஓகே மேம்.
மேடம் வரல. அது அவங்களுக்கு கால் பண்ண போறேன் அதுதான்.
ஓகே.
மேம் வெல்கம் மேம். மேம் வெல்கம். பாத்துட்டேன். Okay, okay. So ma'am has arrived. I am very happy to see ma'am after a long time. Ma'am is our favorite resource person, and she motivated us to reach rural areas through our students through Rural Entrepreneurship Development Program. And today we have ma'am with us, Dr. Uma Rani. So good afternoon participants. Now we have Dr. Uma Rani with us. So just let me introduce ma'am. Madam Dr. Uma Rani Purushothaman. Madam has completed MCom, MPhil in marketing, MBA in finance, and PhD in finance. She has been the dean for MBA department at Savitha Engineering College, Chennai, and gained 34 years of experience. She guided more than 31 PhD scholars. She has to her credit 85 publications in international journals. She was awarded Best Teacher award by Savitha University, Dr. MGR University, NFED, and she has received funding of rupees 5 lakhs from AICT, that is 10,000 from TNSC CST for students project, rupees 40,000 from DST NIMAT, and to conduct various entrepreneurial awareness programs. She has presented papers in Malaysia, Singapore, Switzerland, and USA universities. She was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award for her astounding services in academia for upbringing, teaching, research, and development on Women's Day by NFED in the year 2016. Currently, she is the resource person for MGN CRE and conducting workshops to colleges to bring awareness among students, community, the importance of rural development through rural entrepreneurship. So apart from this, ma'am is facilitating many colleges, teaching faculty to mold the students to fit to the rural entrepreneurship. So all of us, we know about entrepreneurship, but we ignore the entrepreneurship possibilities, prospects in rural areas. So ma'am has got that is Government of India fund, and she is a resource person of this rural entrepreneurship development programs, and she is continuously motivating students as well as faculty members working in various colleges of Tamil Nadu, all over Tamil Nadu. And we too, our college staff members, our department staff members, we have attended her sessions. It was so good. Through that only we got the impression that ma'am is an excellent resource person, and I have fixed her for your session. So use this session. It will be very much resourceful. Whatever doubts, whatever queries you have, you can very well ask ma'am without any hesitation. Ma'am வந்து நீங்க கொஞ்சம் நேரத்துல அவ்வளவு அருமையா அத பத்தின கம்ப்ளீட் டீடைல்ஸ் கொடுத்துருவாங்க. So don't get என்ன சொல்றது, இந்த மாதிரி பெருசா நீங்க அப்படிலாம் நினைக்க வேணாம். நல்லா கேளுங்க, நல்லா ஃப்ரீயா பேசுவாங்க மேம். மேம் shall we start ma'am? Ma'am, you are not audible. மியூட் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Now yes, I can hear you.
Okay. You have attached the PPT now. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Sure,
okay,
ma'am.
Okay. So shall I start now, Ms.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Very good afternoon.
Anand sir, I have made you co-host. You can play the PowerPoint, sir. Thank you. Ma'am, we can start, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. Very good afternoon to one and all present here. And it's a pleasure, joining this FDP with you. And I'm very happy that Dr. Meenakshi has invited me. And definitely, I think this 1.5 hours or 2 hours, what I'm going to spend with you will be useful to you. And as rightly said by her, since it is regarding the financial accounting part, management and cost accounting part, you might have some doubt. You can clear it now and then, and any doubts arises, you can freely ask me, because it should be a worthful session. It is not for time passing I am doing or you are attending. So let us, I want you to enjoy the session, and I want from my side, to give you some useful information. Basically, my PhD and the MBA is, from finance. So I've been teaching cost accounting and management accounting and financial accounting to students. So because I think I am well versed in this topic, she has chosen me. So let me start this event, and I would like to congratulate Dr. Meenakshi for having, got this fund from DST. It's not an easy job, because I know so many times I have tried, and hardly some 4 or 5 times only I could get the fund. And I really congratulate her from the bottom of my heart. And I would like to thank her, as well as the principal and the management of Manar Thirumalai Nayakar College, for giving me an opportunity to speak before you regarding this break-even point. Okay, now let me start the session first. Can you switch on to the next one, sir? Yeah. Next slide. It's about, entrepreneurs. You will have a lot of entrepreneurs here. So now that it is the topic is related to entrepreneurship. So I thought I will explain you with this. Okay. So now I have shown you here in the picture 4 entrepreneurs. Okay. The first one is Mr. Bhavish, who is the owner of Ola. And the second one is Miss Patricia Narayanan, and who is running a restaurant by name Sandeep at Chennai. And the third one is Mr. Ritesh, who invented this Oyo app. And the last one is Mr. Sarath Babu, who is the founder of, CEO of Food King canteens, in many IT industries, as well as in SRM and big universities. Right. I will just, a bit of explanation I will give you regarding these budding entrepreneurs. Except Miss Patricia, all of them are so young. In the age of 18 or 20 or 25, they started this business. So we all know that it is not very easy to start a business. It is difficult only. So with so much of passion only, I think, and innovation and dedication only, all these 4 people have become successful entrepreneurs in their life. So let me start with Bhavish, the first person. Mr. Bhavish, he did his MBA in IIM. And as we all know, IIM guys are really passionate about starting business after a point of time. So like them, he also wanted to start a business. So some programming related, computer language related, he was doing some business. That wasn't very successful, but nevertheless, he was very confident that he will become successful one day. So with that, he was continuing that, business. And one point of time, he has to visit his customer. So he took a taxi and went. On the way, there was a quarrel between him and the taxi driver, who was so aggressive. And that man, he was very slow or something like that. This person is a very, by nature, very punctual. So he didn't want to delay. So he insisted the driver to be little fast. So some quarrel, it occurred. And all of a sudden, that driver, who was also not only aggressive, he was also little arrogant, I should say. He will stop the car in between, and he will ask him to get down and take some other taxi. And like a surprise factor, this man, like Bhavish, he got wild. So he thought, yes, I will become a competitor for you drivers. Like that, he took up a resolution that point of time. So with that in mind, I think, after that, he started this Ola app. Though he doesn't own the taxis, he has become a billionaire now, owning that Ola taxi. So like this, some surprise factors, it happens in many people's life, and they become a successful entrepreneur. The second one is lady Miss Patricia Narayan. She is from Chennai. I'm giving you all live examples, not fictitious. Okay, this lady, she completed a graduation in Chennai, and right from her, college days, she was very much passionate about cooking. So she used to cook, variety of dishes, and everybody used to appreciate her. And after completing her graduation, she will take a job. And there also, she will get good friends, who used to appreciate her, the variety of dishes, what she's preparing. And she'll feel very happy. And this motivated her to find out some new varieties. And like that, she will amuse her friends there, amaze her friends in the company. And after a point of time, she will get married and her husband will be in a good job. So he will ask her to resign the job. She will resign and become a housewife. And some 10 years, she was leading a very happy life. And she was, though she's a Christian, she was married to Mr. Narayan, a Hindu. He was also in a good job, but what to do, sometimes God, he proposes something, right? So we can't do. Man proposes and God disposes something, right? So likewise, one after some 10 or 11 years, he becomes a drunkard. He doesn't go to the company regularly. And finally, he was chucked out of the company. And the family was suffering and they were under financial crisis. They did not know what to do. And she was a confident lady. But at that point of time, she did not know what to do. Somehow they have to leave their livelihood. So she thought, what I can do. And but her subconscious was saying that some miracle will occur and she has to wait for the opportunity. And one day she will take her two children to beach to get relief from her stress. So when she goes to the beach, she will find many people, with the moving mobile cart, they will be selling bhaji vada. So many of you would have gone to Marina Beach, you would have seen that. So the children will ask for the snacks and she will buy some bhaji vada. And when she tasted, she wasn't very happy because, as I told you, she was a good cook. So she thought that it isn't up to the mark. And finally, they will come back to home. And suddenly, like how it happened, like a flash to Bhavish, for Patricia also, that like a flash, she will make up her mind, to do the same business in Marina Beach, because she couldn't afford to spend a huge amount of money to start a business. And getting a job also is difficult. And because the children were too young, she could not leave the children and go during the daytime. So she thought this will be the right time for her so that she can take the kids also along with her to the beach after the school hours. So she started the business and she was also preparing vada, bhaji, and hardly 50 pies, 1 rupee, at the max 2 rupee revenue she will get. She thought, what is this? With this money, how can I leave my livelihood? I should do something. Like that, she was thinking. And then only she thought, my goodness, I know variety of food. I am just preparing the same thing what others are also doing. I should be innovative in whatever I am doing. So that moment she thought that she will prepare some other, delicious dishes so that she can attract more customers. So from the next day onwards, variety of food, like she will start preparing. And a lot of customers, they came to her and they appreciated her, and slowly the revenue jumped. And some people, they even gave her some catering offer. Like that, slowly she moved. And that point of time, because a lot of people appreciated, she thought, she dreamt, why not I start one restaurant in Chennai? That was a dream. That was her mission. So she thought, I should earn some money to start the restaurant. With that intention, a lot of extra work and whatever she was getting, she will do that and she gained, good revenue. And with that money, you won't believe, she started in her daughter's name, Sandeepa Restaurant. I think now she's running around 3 restaurants in Chennai in different parts. So this is a miracle that has happened in many people's life. So don't ever think that becoming an entrepreneur is not possible. No, anything will become possible provided we take one step ahead, right? Right. Then next, I thought I'll share my, views about Ritesh. This fellow is such an young fellow. After completing his graduation, he is from North India, Mr. Ritesh. Very young, but very energetic, and had lot of dreams like any graduates, imagining himself as if he will become the CEO of some company. So with that in mind, the butterflies are flying, and a lot of dreams. He completed his graduation, and then only he found that getting a job is not that difficult as he dreamt. He tried from pillar to post, many companies he tried, but he did not get any job. His father was, a laborer in a construction company. So They all were worried, but what to do? This fellow, he took a lot of initiative, but in spite of that, he did not get any, job. And then he thought, why not I start business? Then he laughed himself. I don't even have a single pie. At the maximum, I'm having only 50 rupees in my pocket. And with this 50 rupees, what I can do? And leisurely he will be walking inside the city. They will be in the outskirts of the city, so he will be walking towards the city, where he will find a lot of restaurants and lodges full of people. He will inquire, what is that special today, so many people here? Then they will say that they have some cultural programs, and some maybe some festival on there, some temple for which many people have come to our city. He'll be very happy, and then he will walk towards his house, which will be little in the outskirts of the city. There he will find one lodge, which will be empty. Only the owner will be sitting there. Not even a single customer will be there. He was little annoyed. What happened? When so many people are there inside that restaurant and lodges inside the city, why there is not a single customer for this restaurant and lodge? So he will think, he will get into that and find out the reason. So he will ask the permission of the owner. He will give him the permission. He will get inside and have a look at the rooms. It was, my goodness, no cleanliness was there. Ambience was very, very, very poor. Then only he thought, this is the reason why people have not come to this particular lodge. So immediately, the business mind, what he had, it will click, and immediately he will undergo an agreement with the owner of the lodge. He will say that some little changes have to be done in the rooms as per his instructions, and he assured him that definitely he will get customers, and if at all he starts getting customers, some 20% commission has to be given to him. The owner will agree. Then he'll be too happy. Some adjustments will be done here and there, and it was okay. Ambience was clean, and it was okay, and at an affordable price. He will quote through social media. And slowly, the large owner will start getting some customers, and many customers will come. Then Ritesh, he thought, why not he take up, make this opportunity and do the same business with the help of, the friends whom he has in different parts of India. So he had a good networking. So with that networking, he slowly moved with other friends and tried to find out whether anybody else, would, if any lodging is free, and he will come and help them, lend a helping hand, for which commission has to be offered. Like that, slowly he, his business enlarged. Then he thought, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, people keep traveling. So why not I go for like a app, so that if I create an app, any people from any part of the city, they can go and stay in some good decent lodge at economical price. So with that in mind, he started this OYO app. And I think throughout India, any part, if you want to go, you can book your rooms through this OYO. Next is Miss Sarat Babu. This man is from Chennai, and I am very happy to say that I have met him a lot of time. Such an energetic guy, and he was, from a Cherry. He was living in a Cherry. His mother used to cook idlis, and this fellow, as a small boy, he will go sell the idlis in the nearby houses. That is what their livelihood, they were leading their livelihood. And what happened was, like he thought that people should look upon him. How to make the people to look upon him? He cannot wear gorgeous dresses, or he cannot bring, variety of food and all, and attract people. So what he thought, so only thing God has given me is my potentiality is, I think, I can have a good knowledge. If I concentrate well, I can become the topper of the class. So with that in mind, during the leisure hours, after helping his mom, like he didn't even have electricity those days in his home. He used to sit under the street light, and he studied, and became the topper in the class. Everybody looked upon at him. And like this, till his 12th standard, he was very good in his studies. And after a point of time, then, like he will get a seat in BITS Bilani, he will do his BTech, and then he will immediately get a job. After getting a job, like he always dreamt, to start some restaurant, and wanted to continue the business what his mother was doing. So with that in mind, he earned huge amount of money. But then he wanted to do his IIM also. And he was very lucky, because he was so brainy, he could get a seat in IIM Ahmedabad. And then he will complete his studies there. And of course, this time also he got, offer from good companies with lucrative salaries. Again, he will join and in his career, and he earns sufficient money. And after a point of time, he will leave his. He took up that risk. That risk-taking ability was there. So that is very important. No, you should have a risk-taking ability. You must be innovative, and you must have that persistence. Only then I think it is confidence should be there. Then only you can become a successful entrepreneur. I think he is a living example, Mr. Sarad Babu. He started this Food King, and he's having branches all over India in many of the IT companies, as well as in some of the private universities also. So these are all some of the living examples. I think this will definitely motivate you people, participants. At any point of time you would like to become an entrepreneur, please take up that decision like how these youngsters have done. Okay, coming to the next PPT, we will. Can you move to the next PPT, sir? It's about perseverance. You all must be knowing the meaning of perseverance, like விடாமுயற்சி பண்றது, no? Steve Jobs, we all know, that's a great personality. He was a co-founder and the CEO of Apple, no? Who invented iPhone and iPad and all that stuff. He has said, I am convinced that about half of what separate the successful entrepreneurs from the non-successful ones is pure perseverance. So there are many traits, required for a person to become an entrepreneur. As I told you, you should either be inventive in nature or innovative in nature, or otherwise you must have the risk-taking ability, and you must definitely be confident, and you should also have perseverance. So I think that is the reason, from his experience, he speaks. Maybe many people might have that innovative mind and risk-taking ability. But, once you start the business, it's not like immediately you will go to the peak. It's not that. A lot of ups and downs you have. You will be facing a lot of hurdles. Sometimes, there will be no customers even to buy a product. Nevertheless, we should not lose our confidence and be very, positive that one day you will reach the pinnacle in your business. So with that in mind, for that, this quality of perseverance is required. So he said that, this is one of the important quality a businessman should have. Okay, coming to the next PPT, it's about, I'm just giving you an example for this perseverance. And in this picture, I have given you 4 pictures attached. The first one is, this is during Second World War. In Japan, we know what happened. So Japan, we know that it is a developed economy, I think, but for the people, who are living there, but for that, quality of this dedication and hard work, I think this country would not have come up to this level. During the Second World War, so we all know that, the bomb was blasted, and the entire Japan city was gutted down. Is it not? And the next picture is about the earthquake, where frequently, earthquake takes place. It's about that. And third picture is about an automobile company, and fourth is the owner of the automobile company. That man is none other than Mr. Ford. Okay, Ford was actually working in an automobile company as a laborer. But Patricia, I said, he also had a big dream in his life, a big mission, I should say. He wanted to become an automobile company owner. Because he was working in automobile company, he had some good knowledge in automobile, business, and how it has to be, fixed up, and all that knowledge he had. So he thought that immediately he cannot start the business. So he manufactured one spare part. If that is being fixed in the car, that will reduce the fuel consumption. So after manufacturing that spare part, he will be working still as a laborer in the company. He will be, trying many automobile, because we know that so many automobile companies are there in Japan. So those days he went to many automobile companies there and requested and pleaded them to give them an offer, but nobody trusted him. But he was very lucky that, Toyota company gave him a placed orders for that, automobile spare part. He was jumping with joy, so happy. So he thought, ultimately my dream, is I'm going to achieve my dream. With that in mind, he started his business, a small business. He started. At that point of time, only the World War took place, where the entire Japan was gutted down. So, of course, he's being a very small business, he lost everything. But then also, he didn't lose hope. He thought, okay, first time I have lost. Sure, I will win in the second time. With that in mind, again, he will borrow money.
What about the
Somehow he will
material
start the movement second time. This
you
time,
have?
earthquake will take place. So, look at that building, everything, again to be shattered down. Then also, like if somebody else would have been in that place, they would have put a full stop, thinking that I am not lucky. I am not, fit to become a businessman. I have lost everything. There is nothing to be lost in, anymore. So I will quit and I will go for a career. That will be the mentality. But Ford, he didn't lose his hope. He trusted himself. He had that much of confidence. So again, he begged, borrowed, somehow he money, and then third time he will start the company. And this time, he was very successful, and slowly he evolved, and finally he became the two-wheeler. He was a Honda two-wheeler. He started manufacturing, and because people were very passionate in buying his two-wheeler, and then he went to switch on to four-wheelers also. Even now, I think he is one of the topper in the whole world. If you see, he will always come within 5 rank. He will be coming because of the quality and the other things, from in his two-wheeler and four-wheeler. So this is what his perseverance means. I think, but for the perseverance he had, he would not have become successful. Okay, coming to the next PPT. Sir, can you switch on to the next PPT? It's about, innovation. As I told you, this is one of the important trait required for a person to become a successful entrepreneur. So this man is none other than, Steve, and he was the, founder of Apple, as you know. He had passion to be, somewhere he wanted to be different from others. He doesn't want like one among the hundreds. He wanted to be like somewhere, he should do something in a different way so that he could, attract people. So what he said, if a company has to grow, he has given some tips. One thing is people should have this innovative mindset, and second thing is they have to hire the best employees in the world, and they should try the level. The company should try the level best to retain those employees so that it will become possible for them to achieve their mission. And the third thing he said that we have to gain experience. Only experience only will help us to learn more, and we can generate more and more better ideas so that we can come out with some innovative product. And then making the product simpler, cleaner, and user friendly. That was another vision of Steve Jobs. He always felt that it should be very simple, whether iPad or iPhone, whatever you are using. I'm using his product. It is really very simple and very user friendly also. So that was there in his mind. And another important point, what he kept in his mind is that not enough I produce some innovative product. It should reach the customers ultimately. So I should find out the need of the customer. Without finding the need of a customer, if I innovate something and bring it to the market, people will not buy. So customer needs have to be analyzed. And after that, like we have to satisfy the customers, and accordingly, some best model products has to be manufactured. And convincing others to take action on those ideas. So he didn't believe in himself alone. He believed in his employees, and whatever ideas generated by them, that also will be taken into account by him. And by pooling all these ideas only, I think like he was able to bring out Apple, iPhone, and iPad and other stuff. So stop selling the products and stop enriching their life. That was the goal of Steve Jobs. So he enriched, I think, the lives of many people in his life. And of course, it was very pathetic. We know how he passed away at a young age when he out of cancer. That is a different thing. We may not talk about that. Okay. Now coming to the next one, it's about self-confidence. So don't think that only people who are educated are having self-confidence. Anybody, even if he's illiterate also, if they have self-confidence, I think they can become a successful person in their life. I'm just giving you another live example of a person. This happened in European country. This man, like he was ringing the bell in a church. That was his job. Okay. So he was around 45 or 50 or so. He had children. He was working in the church and he will ring the bell. That was his work job. He will, whatever limited my income he was getting from the church, That was sufficient for him to leave the livelihood. And his wife also was only a housewife. So the children were growing and they were put up in school or other things. Okay. And one day what happened was a new bishop was appointed. And this new bishop, he came out with several rules. And one of the rule he has wanted to implement is all the employees in the church, irrespective of any higher position or even a small position if they are occupying also, they should have a minimum qualification of 8th standard. Only when they have that 8th grade, they can be the employee in the church. So this is applicable even for Mr. John, who was working as a, ringing the bell in the church. John, he was annoyed. He didn't expect this because he cleared only 3rd standard or something like that. Of course, now due to his age, I think there is no possibility for him to study at this age and get through 8th standard. He did not know what to do. He was so frustrated. If something has to be done right, so he'll be walking up and down and he'll be biting his nails. And one point of time, he felt that he has to smoke, only then he can reduce his stress. So he'll be searching for a petty shop to get a cigarette. There'll be no petty shop. He'll be walking, and another 5 kilometers he will walk, and there only he'll find a small shop where he could get one cigarette. And after smoking, like surprising factor, what happened to Miss Patricia and Mr. Bhavish, this man John also, one idea will strike. So he will happily go to his house and he will say that his job in the church got over, and everybody will be shocked. But this man very happily he will narrate. He will say, "Don't worry, I have decided to become a businessman. I found that that petty shops are very limited in this area. So that particular area I am planning with the money what I'll be getting from the church, I'm going to start a small shop." So with that, he will start a small shop and slowly he will grow, and many branches he will start and became a multi-millionaire. And now he is a billionaire running, chain stores in European country. And whenever he goes, to apply for loan in any bank, when the banker will ask him to sign, no, he will say, no, I can't sign. I can only put my thumb impression. The manager will be shocked. What? You have not studied. So without education, you have come to this level. If you have studied means educated means, like that, he will draw. Then immediately he will laugh and he will say, if I had been educated, I would be still ringing the bell in the church. Now that I was not educated, I was chucked out of the church. So I thought for an alternate opportunity and I became a successful entrepreneur in life. So like this, friends, many of us, suddenly something happens. And I know that many people have lost job during this pandemic period. Even in academics also, I know that many people lost job. But I was very happy to see that they started some, business, and they were able to meet out their livelihood. So like this, don't ever worry. Everything will, become possible provided you have a passion to start the business. That is very much required, and that confidence is also important. If you have the confidence, I am very sure that you can become a successful person in your life. Okay, next, I'm just going to give you the gist of content, what I'm going to speak to you.
Voice is not audible, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you are not audible, ma'am. Ma'am? Ma'am, you are not audible. Ma'am, திடீர்னு வாய்ஸ் கட் ஆயிடுச்சு. Ma'am?
To start. Now, okay, that's not a problem. Okay. Right.
வாய்ஸ் திடீர்னு கட் ஆயிடுச்சு என்னன்னு தெரியல. Okay.
Okay, fine. First, we will go with the analysis of business idea. Okay, so that next, I think we can go for the next PPT. It's about analysis of business idea. So now I'm not talking much about dairy farm. So maybe if I have time, I will tell you. I will first start with the hotel business. As a budding entrepreneur, okay, the business feasibility study can be conducted. That is very important. We should find out whether if I'm, because we know that there are n number of hotels in any place, but still, it is the most wanted business, as it is one of the, they are offering food which is very essential, without which people cannot live. So it is the most wanted business and most profitable business. But nevertheless, we need to do some analysis. So we should find out, if I am going to start a restaurant in Anna Nagar, in the midst of 40, 30 hotels there, will it be possible, feasible for me to succeed? I have to make a study about that. Second thing is, financial expert does analysis. Then we can seek the help of the financial expert, and there also we have to do a lot of analysis. We should find out whether the business is going to be profitable and it will generate more revenue for me. And this financial feasibility will help us to know whether the venture, the hotel what I am going to start, is going to be profitable. If I feel at any point of time that feasibility is very less, then definitely I should stop the idea of starting the hotel in that particular location. And last one is, expert ascertains capital requirement. Yeah, if you seek the help of financial expert, they will definitely help you. There are n number of opportunities for a businessman to, the different sources are there to get financial assistance. Either they can approach bank, or there are many venture capitalists. If you are coming out with some innovative ideas, I always tell people that why you are starting the hotel with a regular menu, you can go with some traditional food made out of cereals, in the kali, kepai, they are saying, no, millet, and with those stuff, like I think we can also produce, good variety of food, which is very good for health, where, definitely 100%, all the health problems also will get reduced. Many people, they are suffering due to sugar and BP and heart, mainly because of change of food habit only. If you go for a traditional food made out of that, that traditional cereals, I'm very sure that your health also will not deteriorate. So you have to think innovatively. If you think innovatively like that, I think definitely you can seek fund from venture capitalists, and they will definitely offer you money, or angel investors are there, or many government schemes are there which are offering plenty of money to start business. So you can seek the help of these experts, who will help you and tell you, like, where you can seek fund. Okay. And of course, if you are going to start your business in some remote area, or in a backward area where not much businesses are there, you will be enjoying some subsidies also from the government, for electricity, as well as in the loan repayment also, you get a lot of subsidy. You can also think about that. Instead of starting in the heart of the city, maybe you can go somewhere in the remote area, and highways or somewhere like that, where competition will be less, as well as like, you, the cost wise also, you can enjoy the cost wise also, you can enjoy the benefits, and you can think about that. Okay, now next is steps in feasibility study. Okay, so as I told you, you should find out whether my idea is good, starting the hotel, and where I want the location, everything, where I have decided, is it really feasible? I have to make an analysis. Okay, so for that, there are a lot of steps in feasibility study. So slowly we have to, like, step by step, we have to analyze, and then, we have to find out whether that will be profitable. The first one is, conduct a preliminary analysis. Okay, you have to, just like that, visit some, people who are running hotels, and whether you should have knowledge in the business, to cook all the variety of food, because always we cannot trust on these masters. The chef might at any point of time, he might resign and go. So you can't, like immediately close your hotel that day. So if you have the knowledge in that, definitely I think you will be in a position to manage that 1 or 2 days till you get an alternate person. So like this, we have to make a preliminary analysis and find out whether I have knowledge in that business, and how I am going to start the business, where I am going to start, and in what level I am going to start the business, as a small one or a medium one or a big, hotel, like all that, preliminary analysis I have to do. Then, I should also prepare one estimated profit and loss account and the balance sheet, and find out whether it is feasible for me to earn sufficient revenue from the business. And conducting market survey is very, very, very important, because there are a number of competitors around us. We are living in a dog eating dog, world, where, any point of time you will be pulled down. So if you want to be sustainable, and you want to be there in the business for many number of years, definitely we have to do market survey. We have to meet, have, maybe we can have organize some interviews with the hotel owner and find out the demand for the business, and how much will be required to start the business, and how many customers they come, and how they are retaining the customers, how they, pacify the customers, and what are the variety of food they are offering. A lot of, study we have to do. And not that is enough, maybe from the customer's point of view also we need to do some study, and we have to speak to them and find out and their preferences, their requirements, their wants, and their wishes, so that accordingly, we will be in a position to cook that stuff and then satisfy the customer. So conducting market survey is very, very important. And the next one is, like a plan for the business organization. Am I going to start as a sole trader business, or whether I am going to start my business as a partnership, or if I am going to start a, what to say, star hotel, 2 star or 3 star or something like that. If I want to start, definitely crores of money will be required, for which I have to go for company type of organization. So depending upon your passion, and depending upon the money what you have, you can either go for sole trader or partnership, or company form of organization. And operations, of course, how we are going to manage, and who is going to cook for me, and is he an expertise, and what is the expectation of the people. And we should always have some alternate people, so that in their absence we can make use of the alternative in the people. Okay, so operations, how I am going to handle all that, also I should get some gain knowledge. Next is reviews and analyze the data applying marginal costing technique. So why I'm specifically saying marginal costing technique is because my topic is break-even point. Break-even point comes under marginal costing technique. What is marginal costing? You might have a question. Marginal costing is nothing but variable cost, and I'll be explaining more about this fixed and variable cost later. So, because like in hotel business, the variable cost is fluctuating in nature. It suddenly increases, suddenly the variable cost will decrease. So in that context, I would like to explain the break-even point, where there will be no profit and no loss. So with an example, I will explain to you later. Fine. So that marginal costing knowledge also you should have, and so that you'll be in a position to pinpoint the break-even point, and understand that level I'll be getting no profit, so that I should try to go further up, so that I will achieve profit. Okay. And making study regarding all these preliminary, and preparing the final accounts, and business study, everything. After making this, then finally I have to decide whether to go ahead and start the hotel, or drop the idea of starting the business. So many people, they start the business, and finally end up and close it in a short period. The reason is it's because they don't do the feasibility study. Unless you do the feasibility study, and take your own time, and do market analysis, it's very difficult to sustain in this competitive world. Okay, coming to the next one, I'm just showing you one diagrammatical representation here. Okay, there are so many, like tools we are using, in the feasibility analysis. We can prepare this final account, or we can prepare this, payback period. That's what I have given, PBP. We can make use of this payback period tool, or otherwise we can make use of break-even point. There are so many tools available, and comparative analysis, so much trend analysis, all that working capital management, fund flow statement, all this we can do. Okay, and find out whether my project is feasible or not. I'm just giving you an example of one tool. It's payback period. Okay, this comes under capital budgeting. I think many of you would have studied marginal costing, where we have learned about capital budgeting. So whenever you are going to start a little bigger business, where in hotel industry, at least minimum, I think 50 to 1 crore we have to spend money. Even as a small hotel, if I am going to start also. So definitely I should know whether the hotel what I am going to start will be profitable for me. So for that, I can go for this payback period, one of the tool which we are using. It's a very simple tool where we are using the formula investment divided by cash inflow. Cash inflow means the revenue what you are generating from the business. Okay, applying this simple tool, I investment maybe in a 1 lakh I'm investing. Okay, and maybe like 20,000 is my revenue. So 1 lakh divided by 20,000, I think I must be getting 5. Yeah, 5 I'm getting, which means within 5 years, I will get back the money what I have invested in the business. Can you understand my example? I'm investing 1 lakh and my revenue, like cash inflow, what I'm going to generate. Let us assume it is, uniform 20,000 I'm generating. My formula is investment divided by cash inflow. So 1 lakh divided by 20,000, I am getting 5. 5 means 5 years. So within a period of 5 years, I'll get back the investment, 1 lakh money in my hand. Because every year I am confident that I will generate 20,000 revenue. Okay. But in some cases, the period will be very less, 3 years or 2 years, like that. Lesser the period, it is more profitable. If it goes beyond 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years, then it is advisable not to launch that venture. Okay, so that is why I have given you here the best case. I should try my level best to get back the amount what I have invested in my business within a period of 3 years. That means, it is a best venture, the best selection of business I have done. But if it is going, like 5 years only, after 5 years only I'll get back my investment, that means it is an average business only, we have to say. But else, if it goes beyond 5 years, then it is a waste. It is a literal waste of starting the business. So better not start the business. Okay. So this is how you make up a decision and then finally come to a conclusion whether shall I go for starting this hotel, or shall I drop the idea of starting this. So that is why, if yes, then I can start investing the money and start the venture immediately. If I find that my payback period goes beyond 5 and 5 more than 5, then I should drop the idea and I should not invest my money and get stressed. Okay, so that is what it's about payback period. Next is about the components of feasibility study. So as I told you, like if I am going to start a hotel, so many analysis I am doing: market analysis, site analysis, supply and demand analysis, capacity utilization, financial analysis, and competition. All these I have to analyze. What do you mean by market feasibility? As I told you, I should do a survey, talk with the n number of hotel owners, as well as I should also talk with the customers. Okay, and then find out what is their requirement and whether they will. If I tell them that these are all the dishes I would like to cook in my hotel which I have decided to start, and if many people say yes, we would love to have such food, then definitely that's a positive report I'm getting. So this market feasibility will definitely help us to know the preferences of the customers. And by meeting many hotel owners, I would come to know about how the business I have to run, and how economical I should be, and what are all the mistakes I should not do. All that it gives me a learning experience in the market feasibility. Next is site analysis. I should locate the place where of course like if you take the example of A to B, Adayar Ananda Bhavan, I am very proud and happy to say that Mr. Tirupati Raja, who started this Adayar Ananda Bhavan, is from my native Rajapalayam. He came to Chennai with empty hand and he was working. And one point of time, he thought, why not he? Because, the food, the varieties, what we cook in Rajapalayam is little different, from Madras and other people, what they do. So he thought he will do trial and error, and slowly he started, and he has become very successful. And he used to do a lot of analysis, site analysis, and find out where he will get many people. And nowadays, if you see, even in highways to Bangalore and other places, there and all they have started. So a lot of analysis they do. Just like that, they don't go and start a hotel in any place. So that location and all, like if you see all the locations where he has his branches in Chennai or like crowded places like Anna Nagar and KK Nagar, and all these places are crowded, and T Nagar, all these, so that he was able to fetch good number of customers for him. And next is supply and demand. I should know whether I will get a good supplier, raw material for me, because grocery, based on the raw material with which I cook only, the quality matters. So I should find out a good supplier who could offer me quality, like a grocery, and at the same time, he must give me time, and so that I can repay the money for after some time. The credit basis, he should be in a position to offer me some in the initial stage at least. Okay, so such good supplier I should get. For that also I should do a study and find out who are really reliable, and find out the demand side from the customers, like how many people will be willing to come and have their food in my hotel. So this study is also equally important. Next is capacity utilization. So I should find out like how much money will be required for buying the different assets, and for working capital. All that I should find out, and how much maximum I can use the money. I should see that I should use. And another good advice I would like to give you, friends. Even if you have 1 crore or 2 crore, don't invest all the money what you have in the business. It is always advisable to invest some half the money what we have, and half the money we have to retain, because uncertainties will definitely occur. Now during the pandemic period, as we all know, we have seen that many people, they lost customers, and they were running at loss, and some of them at least from 25% to 50% earnings they were able to get. So such uncertainties we cannot control. It is beyond our limit. So under that situation, we should be in a position to make some alternate arrangements, and we should be, for meeting our personal expenses also, we need money. So see that you retain some money, and we can always go for borrowed funds, because there are n number of sources available, like as I told you, venture capitalists or institutions in Tamil Nadu, as well as in North India also. Many government schemes, Modi ji government has come out, and we can also avail those loans. Like that, crowdfunding is there, bank is there, financial institutions are there. So all this, we can get some amount of money, borrowed capital also, that we have already studied. Debt equity ratio, we say debt should be 2 and equity should be 1. So borrowed capital should always be more, and equity should be half. Is it not? So we have to think about all that and do. And financial analysis also the same thing. I should find out which mode of sources of finance is very economical for me. Because as I told you, like maybe like a venture capitalist, maybe that if you go for them, there that mode of financial the assistance might be economical for you, because they will also assist you in your management, give you a lot of tricks to run the business in a very effective way. So all that financial analysis also we have to do. There are so many experts who will give you guidelines, and that should be done. And the next one is competition. Of course, we are in a competitive world. There are so many hotels, 1,000 or 2,000, I don't know, a number of hotels in Chennai in different sizes, small, medium, micro, and star hotels. So many we are having. Everybody they are earning, because as I told you, they are producing very essential product in the hotel. But of course, but there are some hotels who are not able to sustain. It is mainly because of the competition. We need to make SWOT analysis. What is my strength? What is my weakness? All that analysis I have to do, and find out, like where I am going wrong, so that I should, correct my mistakes. And similarly, I should also study about the environment. Okay, like I must see whether the technology wise anything I can make use of it, or economical environment, how it is, social environment, everything, all environment also, we should make a study of that. Then only, we will be in a position to overcome the competition. So these are all the components of feasibility study. And if you make a thorough study, encompassing all these factors, I am 100% I can assure you that you can become a successful, person after starting your hotel business. Okay, coming to the next one, next PPT, project financial viability. Okay, so now I have decided to start the business. Having done that payback period, I find that within 4 years I can get back my investment. I thought I will proceed with the idea of starting my business. So first what I have to do, decide the startup of the capital requirement. How much money will be required? As I told you, it varies depending upon the size of business, what you are going to do. Okay, so maybe in the mediocre level, you want to start a hotel with some good ambience and all facilities you want to give, like air conditioners and all that stuff, you want to have, and offer them variety of foods, all that if you are having in mind, definitely you will require more capital. So I should have a thorough study, like how much capital will be required for my business, because many people lose the business mainly because of lack of working capital only. In the initial stage, they will have enough money, they buy all the asset, everything, blah blah, but finally for the meeting the working capital, day-to-day expenses, they are not having sufficient money. When you don't pay the rent, or when you don't pay the electricity, or when you don't pay the salary, who will be there? Everybody will run away. They'll you will not have electricity, and the person will ask you to leave the building, and no laborers, employees will come to you. No, that's what is happening. That is a main mistake what many businessmen are doing. Due to lack of working capital, they are unable to run the business. So I should find out the sources of capital, and which is very economical for me. All that I have to have a thorough study. Then I should do that return ROI, return on investment. How much return I am going to get. So ratio analysis you can apply and find out how much return, the percentage I am going to get. If it is going to be 20 or 30 above, then definitely that is a very profitable venture. You can close your eyes and then start the business. Okay. And working capital requirement, as I told you, it is for meeting the day-to-day expenses, for paying all the fixed and the variable cost. I have to buy inventory, I have to pay for the master and chef and other employees who are serving and cleaning the vessels and all that. I need a lot of money. So unless I pay the money to supplier, he will not give me grocery. Unless I pay the wages, the master will not cook the food. Unless I pay the salary, the people who are serving and other people and all, they will leave my hotel. Is it not? So that working capital, I should always have sufficient money. There should never be lack of working capital in my business. So I should find out approximately how much money will be required. Then I should also prepare a profit plan. For a financial account, I can prepare and find out how much net profit I'll approximately get, and also focus on key services. Okay, other things also apart from this, as I told you, like about the competition and about other things also, I have to make a thorough study, and then I should make up my mind. Now that you are thorough about the business, how we are going to overcome competition, how we are from whom we are going to procure the raw material, who is going to help you in cooking, all that thorough study you have made means, then we can fix up a deadline, like when you are going to start your business. Because before you, when you are going to give a B plan to any financial institution who are going to offer you money, then you have to fix up the deadline when you are going to start the business. Maybe you can take 6 months or 9 months, something like that. You can specify and then apply for the loan. Okay. Now next is terminologies in break-even point. Now that my topic is break-even point, I think slowly I have brought it down to my topic. So some of the terms which will be frequently using in break-even point is fixed cost, variable cost, contribution, profit volume ratio. Because to find out the break-even point in terms of money, we apply a formula. Okay, fixed cost divided by PV ratio. So in that case, I should know what is PV ratio, what is fixed cost, everything I should know. So let me give you a brief, explanation about these terminologies. So two types of expenses normally will be incurred in any business. It will be called as fixed cost and variable cost. What is fixed cost is that amount what you are going to pay is fixed. Suppose we are working in an organization, they fix up a salary as 50,000, 1 lakh or whatever money. The same amount, unless after 1 or 2 years only, maybe they might give some increment. So till then that salary is going to be the same throughout the 12 months. Is it not? So that, like what you are going to pay, that is called as a fixed cost. Similarly, maybe I rent out a building for running my hotel, and definitely maybe it might be a lease or otherwise maybe I will have an agreement, a rent agreement, saying that I will pay them some 50,000 or 1 lakh as a rent. So that amount also is going to be the same, whether I get 1,000 customers or whether I am going to get 100 customers, then also the same amount, I'll be, that is why we call it a fixed cost, irrespective of change in volume of business. Whether the volume of business is, see now during the pandemic period, there was no customers at all for some time. And slowly people through Swiggy, they were placing orders. So under that circumstance also the same rent they were paying for the building, the same salary they were offering for the master and other people. Is it not? So that is what we call it as fixed cost, which remains constant irrespective of changing in the volume of business. So example, as I told you, it can be rent or electricity or salary, depreciation, what we charge for the asset, insurance and advertisement and all that stuff, we call it as fixed cost. So this is called as operating expenses. We call this as what? Operating expenses. Then there is one thing called as variable cost. So the term itself signifies that it varies according to the number of units you manufacture. So suppose, like maybe in the Saturdays and Sundays, more people will be coming to hotel. Is it not? So in those days, I'll be getting, 100 or 200 or 1,000 customers. But whereas during working days and especially in the afternoons and all, we will be getting very less customers only. Is it not? So I should find out like, how many people will come during this particular time for breakfast and lunch and dinner and vacation time and festival time, like all that, we have to take into account. So during those days, I have to spend more money for grocery. My raw material is what? Grocery, what I am going to buy. So for this grocery, I need to spend more money during the holidays day, Saturday, Sunday, and weekdays maybe I will pay less, because so here it varies according to the number of customers whom I am going to get. That is why we call it as variable cost. Okay. So maybe like during Diwali and other Pongal and other seasons, many people will come. So definitely we will appoint a more, chef or the masters, so that, we will have, they will also have good work those time. So that time, we need to pay more labor charges, wages we have to pay, and raw material also we have to buy, more raw material we'll be buying, so that, it is keeps on varying. So that variable cost, is we include here the wages what we pay and the raw material what we buy and the commission on sales, all that, will come under this variable cost. So this difference, you should be in a position to, you should know it thoroughly. Okay, what is fixed and what is variable. Third thing is contribution. Okay, what is contribution means? It is the difference between sales and variable cost. The formula for calculating contribution is sales minus variable cost. How much I sell, from that I will less the variable cost. Okay, so that is what is called as contribution. And the excess of contribution over fixed cost is equal to profit. Actually, you can put it in a vertical form. If you write first one, you will write sales, how much you are going to sell, your turnover. From the sales, you first less, like variable cost. When you less variable cost, you will be getting some amount. That is called as contribution. Sales minus variable cost, you get contribution. From this contribution, you have to less the fixed cost, that rent, salary, and electricity, whatever you are going to pay, that amount, you have to less. If you less that amount, I will just give you an example. Let us assume I'm expecting some, for a month, I'm expecting some 10 lakh, revenue I'm expecting, sales I'm expecting. So 10 lakhs is my sale. Variable cost, maybe I'm spending some around 3 lakhs. Okay, 10 lakhs minus 3 lakhs, I'm getting here 7 lakhs. 7 lakhs is considered as my contribution. From this contribution, maybe I am incurring some 5 lakhs fixed expenses. So from 7 lakhs contribution, I should less 5 lakhs fixed cost, which means I am getting 2 lakhs. That is my profit. I hope you understood the concept what I am trying to explain to you. This is a vertical format of calculating profit. Sales minus variable cost, contribution. Contribution minus fixed cost, you will get the profit. Suppose my, like contribution is 5 lakhs. My fixed cost also is 5 lakhs. That means 5 minus 5, I'm not getting any profit, no loss. Understood? Okay, then this point is called as break-even point, where there is no profit and no loss. If I am going to get a turnover of 5 lakhs, and if I am going to spend 5 lakhs money for fixed cost, that point, is called as break-even point, where there is no profit and no loss. Suppose I want to earn more profit, that means my turnover should be more than 5 lakhs. If I have 6 lakhs or 7 lakhs turnover, definitely if I less fixed cost, I am going to get 1 lakh or 2 lakh profit. This is how, we find out using this marginal costing technique, we find out the break-even point and we try to reach above the break-even point. We should increase our volume of sales above the break-even point so that we will definitely get profit. But if my sales is going to diminish below this point, 100% we are going to incur loss only. Understood? Okay, that is about contribution. Then the last one is, we shortly call it as PV ratio, profit volume ratio. Volume means, I mean here sales. Okay, it is the management, it is the measurement of the rate of change of profit due to change in the volume of sales. So obviously it's a known fact, no? The more I sell, the more profit I will get. If I sell less, then vice versa, my profit will be less or I will not get profit. Is it not? So we are just trying to bring about a relationship between the profit and the sales, what I am going to do. So we apply, our formula and then find out contribution divided by sales into 100. That is a formula we use for PV ratio, contribution divided by sales and multiply by 100. The percentage will be in percentage. Answer will be in percentage. So the more and more percentage you get, 20%, 30%, slowly if it indicates higher and higher PV ratio if you are getting, that implies that your business is very profitable. Okay, so you are getting more sales, accordingly you are also getting more profit. It signifies that. So these are the four terminologies which we should be very thorough regarding the break-even point. Okay, now coming to the next one. Can you switch on to the next one? Yeah, it is BEP, break-even point. I just want to give you an explanation as what is meant by a break-even point. Okay, so that is, it's very, very important. You should know like what is the meaning for break-even point. As I told you, we are using this, tool, break-even point tool in marginal costing to find out whether I have to start the hotel or not. So for that, I should find out at which level of sales, I will not be getting any profit or loss. So that I should try to, have more sales so that accordingly I'll be getting more profit. So it is the point where the income is equivalent to the cost. Okay, when I say total cost, it means both fixed and variable cost. So when the sales is equivalent to the cost, what I'm spending, then in that point, there will be no profit and no loss. Okay, as I told you, 5 lakh I am selling, my total expenditure is 5 lakh, then 5 lakhs minus 5 lakh, no profit, no loss. This is how we find out the break-even point, okay, and then find out whether how I have to increase my turnover so that I will get more sales and how I can increase my profit. I can decide upon that. So break-even point depends upon 3 variables, okay. So I told you the formula, no? Sales minus variable cost, you get contribution, minus fixed cost, you get profit. So 3 variables only we have to concentrate. I should try to increase more and more sales, and I should always, fixed cost that remains constant, so that you can't reduce. Okay, so whether you get 1,000 customers or whether you are going to get only 500 customers, I'm going to give the same rent and same salary. So I need not bother much about the fixed cost. In marginal cost technique, we are concentrating only more on variable cost, because variable cost only is fluctuating in nature. It changes, it increases or decreases, is it not? So what as a businessman you have to do is, under marginal costing technique, what they are saying is, please concentrate on variable cost and try to be economical by reducing the variable cost. because you cannot do anything with the fixed. That is going to remain fixed. You can't do anything. Once you fix, this is the rent, this is the salary, the same amount you are going to give. And EB charges also per meter unit, they have fixed that amount, and it's all beyond our hands. We can't do anything, right? So we can't do anything regarding fixed cost, but definitely we can control the variable cost. So that is why under marginal costing, we say that please pay more attention to variable cost so that you can reduce that expenditure. See, there are n number of customers, who will be who will supply you raw material. There are so many people who even supply organic, grocery, rice or wheat or millet or whatever you want to buy, pulses, everything, they are supplying. There are so many customers, okay? But you have to be very cautious and find out the customer. Just because a person is giving at a lesser cost, we should not fall prey towards him, because maybe the quality wise it might not be good. So you need to check the quality also. At the same time, price also should be feasible for you. So you have to be very cautious in selecting such customer, so that in a very economical price you'll be in a position to buy the raw materials, your grocery, whatever is required. Okay. Now, next, break-even point. We always, do for two purposes we are calculating break-even point. One is how many units when I am going to sell, I am going to get break-even point. In the hotel, how many customers if I get, I will be getting no profit loss. That is one thing. That's what I have mentioned, a break-even point in terms of sales. For that, the formula is fixed cost divided by PV ratio. Okay. So you will find out. So we will find from the, based on units, based on, volume of sales, we are calculating two types of, formulas we are applying. You can make a note of it. So this is for in terms of sales, like if you want to find out, then the formula here is fixed cost divided by total contribution, and divided by PV ratio. I'm sorry, divided by PV ratio we will write. So PV ratio, how you will get contribution by sales into 100. Okay, I haven't written 100 here. Contribution divided by sales into 100. How do you get contribution? Sales minus variable cost. Okay, you will get contribution. So like this, you must know what all will come under variable cost. As I told you, raw material cost and the labor cost, the power what you are spending in that like a cooking place, and the freight what you are paying for to bring the material from port or something like that. Whatever money you are spending for manufacturing, all that will come under variable cost. Okay, so we should try to reduce this variable cost so that we will be in a position to get more profit. And fixed cost, as I told you, that is going to remain fixed. So how much I'm going to pay for it, because insurance is very much required. Something happens or fire or something occurs, so we cannot bear that loss. So but we take insurance, means definitely we can claim for compensation from the insurance company. That amount is going to be the same amount you'll be paying premium every year. So that is why it comes under fixed cost. Whether I have 5,000 customers, whether I have 500 customers, the same insurance premium only I'll be paying. Okay. So up to certain level, there will not be any change. So we call it as a fixed cost. So these are all the formulas, and these are all the variables we have to keep in mind. And these calculations and all you yourself can do and find out the break-even point in terms of units and in terms of sales. Both we can do, and then find out at what point of units, at what point of sale amount I will be in the break-even point. Okay, coming to the next one. Yeah, this is the graphical representation to calculate the break-even point. Okay, so here I am showing you the production. How many people, customers will come to me. And suppose if we are going to manufacture something, then in that case how many units we will manufacture. So this is horizontal one is scale of production. How many for me in hotel industry, we will have customers only, how many number of customers I'll be getting. Similarly in the dairy farm also it is like that, how many procure milk from us. That will be our scale of production. And the vertical one, that is showing the cost, how much we will be spending money for fixed and variable cost. So what is meant by total cost, which is in the middle? It adds both fixed and variable. Both put together, we are calling it as total cost. So I told you fixed cost remains constant. That is why it is here in the horizontal form. Okay, I have put the fixed cost in horizontal because up to certain level of production or up to certain level that remains going to remain constant. So we have put it as in the horizontal form. But if you look at the variable cost, it keeps on changing. So, it is going upwards. The more and more customers you get, or the more and more units you produce, definitely the variable cost will keep on increasing. So it is going upwards. Okay. If you look, the turnover income, what I generate, it is in the top. Okay. That line is in the top. So in one point, the income and the total cost is touching. I have shown it as an arrow mark that is called as a break even point. Probably, and let us assume I am getting 200 customers here. Okay. So when I am getting 200 customers here, and if my cost also is somewhere around 1000 or something like that, if that is a break even point, then if I am spending this much money, if I am going to get this many customers, I will not have profit or loss. That point is called as break even point. If beyond this point my income goes, okay, then definitely I will get profit. But if I come below this level, then my number of customers are less, but my cost is more. When my cost is more, I will definitely incur loss. Okay, so this is how it is helping for a businessman to know where the break-even point is, and applying this break-even point in marginal costing, using marginal costing technique, we can find out that and eliminate the losses which might incur. Okay, so we should be very cautious regarding that. Okay, coming to the next one. Okay, so this is just an example for a hotel. I would like to start a sophisticated hotel, like, so where all chandeliers are there and good furnitures are there. Okay, so this sort of then the swimming pool, all that stuff. If I want to start as a 2-star level, of course 5-star and all I cannot even imagine. 1-star or 2-star level, if I want to start the hotel with all these fixtures and furnitures and all, you see very gorgeous furnitures, everything is there. Building itself is looking very nice, interior decorations are beautifully done. So like this, if you want to start a hotel, like, then we have to decide what is going to be my break-even point, so that accordingly, like I can choose. Okay, coming to the next one. Yeah, these are the components of hotel feasibility study. I should find out whether it is feasible for me to run the business successfully, or it is better to, quit the idea of starting the business. Okay. The first one is, as I already told you, preparation of market feasibility study. I should study the market and find out if I start in this particular location, whether people will come, customers, I will get enough customers, all that I have to make a study. Then comes estimation of cost of the project. Okay, I should study how much money like I have to spend and all that. So what is going to be my fixed cost? What is going to be my variable cost? All that I have to study, and then determine the source of financing. From where I am going to get loans, bank or financial institution or crowdfunding or from venture capital or any other government schemes. All that we have to decide. So whichever you feel that is the right choice, you can select any source you can select. And then hotel located near business, where I am going to locate my hotel. Okay, am I going to locate near the highways or near the shopping centers or near the trade centers? All these, we have to decide. See, somewhere, where no people come and no transport facilities are there, if I go and start there, it is very difficult for me to run the business profitably. But if I am going to start near the trade centers and highways and not highways, near shopping centers and trade centers, if I am going to start, definitely the rent will be very, very high, and all my expenses also will be very high. So maybe in the highways, that will be preferable, because you will not incur that much of expenditure. Comparatively, maybe it might be little lesser. Okay, so that location also plays a vital role. So as a businessman, we have to think. But you feel that like in the heart of the city, if I start, many people will come. I am confident that with a variety of food what I am going to offer, I will get 100% many customers. Then nevertheless, you need not worry. You can go ahead with the idea of starting in the heart of the city itself. Okay, that confidence is required. Next is easy accessibility. Yeah, that is important. No, people should be in a position to come to a hotel. All like transportation facility should be there. It should not be somewhere in the congested area, or it should not be somewhere in the interior, so that people will find difficult to come. It should not be like that. And of course, and many everybody almost they have car or two-wheeler or four-wheeler. Everybody they come in that vehicle only. So we must have sufficient place for them, to park their cars and all that. So that is there. And conduct the field study on demographic profile. Demographic means like the income of the people. Suppose I am going to locate my hotel in what to say, Nagar, then definitely that the income of the people will be very high only there. And Anna Nagar, like this, there are some areas, Mailapur, posh areas. If I am going to start, definitely in the demographic profile wise, high income people will be living there, and definitely I will get customers, all that, and population size, how many people are residing in that particular area. If I am choosing some dungeon area where very less people are living, then like getting customer is become difficult. And income level, as I told you, and whether they are working people, or many working people are there, all that we have to analyze. And whether I'm going for a own building or lease building, but always advisable to go for the lease building in the beginning stage, unless you have your own building, that is okay. Otherwise, constructing a building in the initial stage is not advisable. And maybe in the tourist center area also we can have hotels, so that many people, now during the pandemic it has got reduced. Otherwise, people keep on traveling, and they come, they select some hotels, and they always take us only to that particular hotels only. So maybe I should have some good rapport with the tourism managers, so that they will influence them to come and eat in my hotel. Okay, all this study I have to do. Analyze the expected customers on weekdays and weekends. I already told you, weekends we will have more and more number of double, triple, even four times also you get more customers. But during weekdays, and maybe especially during afternoon and morning, maybe it might be little less only. Study on availability of labor, quality, and the cost, everything. Of course, I should see that I should concentrate in the quality of the grocery what I am going to buy, because as I told you, quality matters. Otherwise, food quality will also deteriorate. I will not get back my customers. Through word of mouth itself, there are many people, they go to some hotels. They start in a small level, but they have reached, like to the high level they have gone. Like Adayar, Ananda Bhavan and Saravana Bhavan hotels. All these people and all, they started in a small level only. But now they all have grown, and crores of money they have earned. This is mainly because they were very concerned about the quality of the food they are going to offer. But for that, I think they would not have grown to this level in spite of so many competitors in and around them. Okay, so all this we have to make a feasibility study should be done. Okay, coming to the next one. Yeah, components of break even, and after that break even analysis. Yes, so this it determines the application of cost function. So here we are analyzing both cost as well as the revenue what we are going to generate. So as I told you, three variables we are taking into account: sales, fixed cost, and variable cost. So I have given you a cost and the profit what we are expecting from the business. Okay, it determines when the hotel will be able to cover all the costs and start earning the profit. I told you, the break even point you will have no profit. If you go beyond that break even point, then we will definitely start earning profit. So that break even point we have to find out. It is also termed as cost volume profit analysis. This another name for the break even analysis is called as cost volume profit analysis, where these three factors, variables we are taking into account: cost, fixed, and variable. Volume is sales, profit. Okay, all the three variables we are taking into account. So the other name for this is cost volume profit analysis. This analysis is helping the hotel owner to know the break even where the sale is equal to the total cost. So when the sale is equal to the total cost, I'm not going to incur loss, but nevertheless I will not earn profit, but no loss will be there for me. So this techniques helps the owners in profit forecasting and to examine the alternative management decision. So suppose you feel that you can go reach beyond the break-even point, then it is fine. Otherwise, you need to find out an alternate suggestion and find out a solution and see that it should not be problematic for you to run the business. If you are going to continuously, incur loss, then there is no point in starting a business. So all these we need to do analysis and then finally start your business. Okay, coming to the next. It's assumption of break-even analysis. See, this break-even analysis, it has certain assumption. Okay, I told you we are applying the formula, fixed cost divided by PV ratio, we are applying the formula. Or otherwise, there is another formula, is fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. We will apply two formulas. Under all these formulas, when we are going to apply, these, assumptions, we are taking into account. And based on these assumptions only, we are working out our, this formula we are applying. Cost, as I told you, it is classified only as two, fixed cost and variable cost. Here we are not taking into account the semi-variable cost, which is partly fixed and partly variable. Okay, so that and all we are not considering. Semi-variable is not taken into account, only fixed cost and variable cost. Second, fixed cost, we are assuming that it is remaining constant. That is why I shown in the graph, horizontal line I showed you. And variable cost, it keeps on varying with every volume of. If you are going to add up more customers, then definitely I have to spend more for raw materials. Okay, so that variable cost, it keeps on changing, and selling price remains constant. But this assumption, no. It's very difficult to apply in the practical life because based on the economy, sometimes they are increasing the selling price, sometimes they are reducing the selling price. But as far as break-even point is concerned, tool is concerned, we are always assuming that sales remains constant and there is no change in the product mix. What do you mean by product mix? Like adding up more and more like variety of foods what we are going to add. We are assuming here that there will be no change for the time being. The same variety menu of the food will be offered. So that is one assumption we are having. This also is not feasible practical, but for the problem for like a tool point of view, when you are going to apply, we are assuming like that. Then there is no changes in the productivity per worker. He will be like manufacture cooking only idlis and dosas and whatever menus we have, that much only he will cook. Okay, so there will not be much changes there. Assumed there will be no opening and closing stock. We assume that raw material whatever they are buying, grocery, everything what they buy, they complete it by the year end. There will not be any left out, so that we will take it again as a opening stock for the next year. So that will not happen. These are all only assumptions. As I told you, for the purpose of applying this formula, all these assumptions we do. Fixed cost is constant, variable cost varies, and the selling price is constant, and there is no change in the productivity per worker, no change in the product mix, and there will be no opening and closing stock. Some of the points what I mentioned, as I told you, it is not practically possible, but based on these assumptions, assuming that it is constant, we are working out this formula. Okay, coming to the next point. Cost elements of the project. I just want to share with you what all the expenses will be incurring if you are going to start one hotel industry. Okay, so maybe some people they want to do the business in their own place. Why give rent? Maybe they might have enough money, so they feel that they will go for constructing their own building. So in that case, they have to purchase a land. So how much money will be incurred for buying the land? How many lakhs? That they have to mention. And of course, when they are going to construct a hotel, for designing, engineer, how much we are going to pay, and for the construction, how much we are going to estimate. We have to do an estimation and find out how many crores we are going to spend for the construction of the hotel. And the next is buying furniture. Of course, furniture and equipments are very much required. You need to buy furniture, and then we have to buy air conditioners and all these chandeliers and different variety of lights, so that it gives a good ambience like that, So for that, how much I'm going to spend, all that we have to decide. And cost of inventory. That is very important. No? That's a variable cost. So how much I'm going to buy raw material, this and all. By getting consulting with other people who are already running the hotel, we will get one idea. So we have to mention this, how much we have to spend for the inventory, raw materials, and then pre-opening expenses. See, like, before starting the business, we need to spend a lot of money. Like how if I am going to construct my own building, obviously, I have to, make use of help, seek the help of surveyors who will, find out the location of my land and how many square feet I have, for whom I have to pay the fees. And the engineer, will design my hotel, for whom I have to pay money. And then, so much other, I have to prepare memorandum articles of association with the help of, advocates, for whom I have to pay the fees. These and all are preliminary expenses what we are spending. And all these, how much I have to spend. One estimation, I have to give here. And given plan construction and advertisement, travel and sales and all that. And then for working capital, as I told you, for the regular routine expenses, how much I have to spend for the raw material, wages, salary, rent, all that, everything, how much I will need, how many lakhs of money I will need. All this estimation, I have to prepare well ahead, so that I should see how much money I have in hand and will I be in a position to meet out that expenses. All that analysis I have to decide. Only then, in a confident way, you can start your hotel business. Okay, coming to the next. Yeah, this is one example I'm giving you. Please just make a note of you. This is, assuming that it's not a hotel for business. Just assuming that you are manufacturing something. Maybe you are manufacturing some spare parts or something like that. If you are manufacturing zero, that means maybe during the pandemic we were not manufacturing any spare parts. So yeah, I didn't sell any spare part also. There is no revenue, but I have to pay for the fixed cost. I have to pay the rent, and whoever, few people who are working in my administration office, I have to pay them salary. So maybe you can add some 3 or 4 zeros, 15 lakhs, something like that you can consider. By given here in 3 figures, it doesn't mean 150, it means 15 lakhs. Okay, 150 rupees, they are, spending. And variable cost, why zero? Because I have not cooked anything during pandemic period. There was no variable cost. So my total cost is 150, zero revenue, which means I was running at a loss during my pandemic period. Okay. And slowly after this, restrictions, slowly they reduce the restriction, where few customers, when they turn out, hardly, let us assume that, 50 customers, they have come to my hotel in the initial stage. Maybe after 6 months of pandemic, during the pandemic period, as little, restrictions were reduced. So maybe 50 people had come. So my revenue, what I generated from that, 50 customers, I have got 200. So as I told you, please, 3 or 4 or 0 add panikonga. I'm giving here 200 revenue. My fixed cost is always same. So that is only 150. Okay. Variable cost is 150. So the total cost is 300. My revenue is how much? 200 only. So revenue is 200, cost is 300. Is it a loss or profit? Definitely it is loss. 200 loss I am incurring here. Okay, so there is no revenue for me here, no profit for me here. Though I am earning revenue here, my, I'm not getting any profit. Next is, I have slowly, maybe little liberalization was there, little more customers I was getting, 100 customers I was getting, from whom I am getting total revenue of 400. My fixed cost is 150, that is constant irrespective of how many number of customers I got. So from but whereas my variable cost is, you see, 150 I am having. I'm sorry, 300 I am having. So total cost comes to 450, but my revenue is only 400. Again, 50 rupees loss I am incurring here. Okay. So if you are going to get loss, then it is not advisable to start the business. Okay. Now, little more customers I'm getting. I am getting 100 customers now, through whom I am getting, 150 customers I am getting now, from whom I am getting a revenue of 600 rupees. I am getting revenue. My fixed cost is 150, variable cost is 450. Both cost, total cost is 600. Total revenue is 600. That means cost and revenue are equal, which means that is called as break-even point, where there is no profit and no loss. I hope it is very clear. I have made you very clear. In this point, when I am getting 150 customers to my hotel, I will not get profit and I will not incur loss. That means I should try my level best to get more customers beyond that 150, which means definitely I will get profit. If I am reducing my customers to 100, I will incur a loss of, some amount, 50 rupees loss I will get. But whereas if I go beyond that 150 customers, I will definitely get profit. Look at the fourth one. 200 customers are coming, from whom I am getting a revenue of 800 and my total cost is 750. 800 minus 750, I'm getting 50, which means I get a profit of 50 rupees. As I told you, when you go beyond that break-even point, then beyond that 600 customers, more if I get, my profit also will get increased. Then I'm getting here 250 customers. So my revenue is 1000. My expenditure is 900. I'm getting 100 rupees revenue. And the last I am getting 300 customers where I'm getting 1200 revenue. 200 only have added because I told you that selling price is constant. Everything is constant, I said. That is why, 200 more I'm getting. So 1200 I'm getting revenue. But my expenditure is only 1050, which means 150 rupees profit I'm getting. So beyond that break-even point of 150 customers, if more customers I'm getting, then accordingly my profit also is increasing. That it keeps on, moving upward. This is how we calculate the break-even point and find out whether to sustain in the business or to drop in the business. Okay. Next PPT. Yeah, can you show me the next one? Yeah. Similarly, when the output is 100, I think I already told you, when the output is 100, we were incurring a loss of 50 rupees we were incurring. I told you in the beginning itself. But at the level of output of 150 units, when we were getting, it was a break-even point where there was no profit and no loss. Revenue was equal to the total cost. At this level, then the firm is working at a point where there is no profit or no loss, which is called as break-even point. From the level of output of 200, then the company starts getting revenue. I told you, from 200, every, more customers you are getting, you are accordingly getting more revenue. Profit also you are getting, because your revenue generation is more, the cost is less, you are getting more profit. This is how we are applying a break-even point in business. We have to do. Okay, coming to the next one. I'm just giving you an example of a burger. Okay, let us assume Jay is selling burgers. Okay, so the cost of manufacturing one burger, that is the raw material cost and the labor cost, it comes to rupees 10, because normally we see them standing outside somewhere, they are doing the work, is it not? In the roadside they are doing this burger, let us assume. So their raw material cost and the labor cost, it comes to 10 rupees. Let us assume the selling price is 12 rupees. The selling price is 12, but whereas, like a variable, the cost for making one burger is 10. That means he is getting profit only now. Let us assume fixed cost, expenses. What is going to get is, 1 minute. Fixed cost, it remains constant. So let us assume that, fixed cost, we are getting, there's 10,000 rupees per month we have to pay. Okay. And the break-even point in terms of units, I told you the formula is fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. If it is for sales, the formula is fixed cost divided by PV ratio. So here the fixed cost is 10,000 rupees. Contribution, what is the formula? Sales minus variable cost. So 12 rupees minus 10 rupees, I am getting 2 rupees as contribution per unit. So when I am dividing fixed cost divided by contribution, I am getting 50,000 burgers. If J is selling 50,000 burgers in a month, then he will not get profit, nor he will incur loss. But if you want to get profit, he must see that he is selling more than 50,000 burgers. So if he increases the number of burgers, what he can sell, then, then he will get profit. But if he is selling only 50,000 burgers, then there is no point in continuing the business, because there will be no profit, no loss. So if you want to get burger, at least some, 1,000 more if he increases, accordingly his revenue generation also will get increased. Okay, I think you have understood from this simple example how this break-even point, is being, we are getting it. Okay, now next example. I'm just giving you another, a very small vendor example only. Suppose a vendor is selling lemon juice. I told you the example of, burger there. Now I'm giving the example of lemon juice. It costs 5 rupees to prepare a cup of lemon juice. Okay. Let us assume he is selling 1 glass of lemon juice for 15 rupees. That means he is generating 10 rupees revenue. Is it not? He spends 500 rupees to start the shop. Okay. So how many glasses of juice he has to sell to break even point? Can you somebody message it? Yeah. You the participants, can you just message and tell me like how many glasses he has to sell so that he will get break even? Yeah. You can message me. Participants, are you listening? Yeah. You can just message. How many, like what will be the break even? How many juices he has to sell so that there'll be, yeah, tell me.
Participants,
Yeah.
kindly answer.
All this time I have been talking. Just 5 minutes I'm offering you to talk. You just tell me now, applying the formula, break-even point formula, how many glasses he has to sell. Break-even point, the formula is fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. Okay, that's the formula. 500 rupees is the fixed cost, is it not? And what is the contribution formula? Sales minus variable cost, 15 minus 5, you get 10 rupees. Okay, so 500 divided by 10, how many glasses we are getting? 50 glasses. Okay, go to the next slide. Yeah, here I have given you fixed cost divided by contribution. This is for number of units. I'm not telling here how much value. Value I'm not giving. Only number of units I'm telling. How many people I have to sell. That only I'm just giving you here. So 500 is the fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. Contribution formula is sales minus variable cost. So 15 minus 5. So we are getting 10. So 500 by 10, we are getting 50 glasses. That means 50 customers, if they take lemon juice from this particular person, that yeah, I'll finish in another 10 minutes. I'll finish. I'll finish it. Okay, okay. Okay, right. I'll finish it. Sorry. Okay, right. Okay, fine. I'll finish it. Okay, go to the next slide. Please go to the next slide. I would like to finish. I'm running short of time. Yeah. So, cost incurred in hotel business. This is what the same type of example I'm giving you here also. You can just make use of it. Okay, come go to the next one. This also break-even point. I'm just giving you another example where they are selling the food. I gave you the burger example, lemon juice, and another food example. The same formula only we are applying here. Okay, go to the next. Change in profit. Okay, if fixed cost is that, for that also, if you want to increase the more profit, if you have to get more revenue, and for that you must get more customers. If you get more and more customers, you will get more revenue. Accordingly, you will be getting more. So that is what I given you in this slide. Yeah, next. Only 2 more slides are there. Okay, next is I'm just giving you the drawbacks of break even. An owner can determine the selling price that will give him profit. So it is up to him to decide. Maybe initially they can fix up a considerable price, and the break even analysis helps to fix the sales volume also, like how many customers they are expecting. Accordingly they will do it, and helps to make inter-firm comparison of the profit. So some other people who are also involved in the same business, they can make a comparison and find out where I am going wrong, and I can reduce my cost. It helps the management to take a right decision. Okay, next. Drawbacks means, in practice, as I told you, selling price, you cannot always have a constant price. They keep increasing. No, now even if you take auto or taxi, they are trying to increase because the petrol cost has increased. So selling price is never constant, but as per the break-even point analysis, we are assuming it is constant. Similarly, this tool can't be used in a long period. Initial stage we can consider, and income tax also we are not taking into account. Cost can't always be matched with output. Okay, and the last one, yeah, So this is margin of safety. I think there is no time. We will switch on. The last one is product life cycle. Yeah. Please go to the last slide. Next slide. This is the product life cycle. You all know, we start in the initial stage, and one point we will be in the peak. At that point, we should try to, we will definitely fall down. Before falling down, we should try to do some alterations we have to do so that we can sustain the market. Okay, participants, I am very happy and thank you for your patient listening. I hope you gain some knowledge through this.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. We have also recorded it. So we will send the recording to the participants. If they have any doubt, I'll come to you back.
Anytime.
Ma'am.
Yeah. Sure.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, goodbye. Okay, bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.